Front-running Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders makes his way to Bakersfield today. The Porterville community plans a special gathering to remember their two fallen firefighters. And the state of California takes aim at President Trump suing the commander-in-chief. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for 17 News at noon. I'm Vanessa Dillon. Well, with 11 days until primaries, things are heating up for the Democratic Party. Several polls now show the Democratic candidate in the lead. That candidate is set to make a stop in Bakersfield this afternoon. 17's Taylor Schaub is live at the park at Riverwalk with who you can anticipate seeing today. Taylor.
Hi, Vanessa. After a strong showing in the Democratic debate Wednesday in Nevada, Vermont Senator and presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders is bringing his campaign to Bakersfield. I'm going to step out of the shot so you guys can take a look. Senator Sanders is scheduled to speak here at a rally at the park at Riverwalk this afternoon. Sanders plans to encourage voters to cast their ballots early with this Get Out the Vote rally, and you can actually hear some sounds. They're starting to play a little music as people are walking in. It's all set to happen at the Spectrum Amphitheater at 3:30. The rally is open to the public. Sanders last made an appearance in Bakersfield in 2016. He canceled a scheduled appearance last year at CSU Bakersfield because of a heart attack he suffered earlier. Earlier this week, he was the leading candidate in the Democratic field by double digits going into Wednesday's debate, and he entered that debate as the frontrunner for the nomination. Well, law enforcement has yet to release any sort of traffic schedule or tell us if any roads are going to be closed down. Right now, we encourage people to find alternate routes around this area. I'm going to send it back to the studio right now.
Thanks so much, Taylor. Well, a public vigil is scheduled to begin in just 4 hours in Porterville to honor the two firefighters who died earlier this week. The fire broke out Tuesday at the Porterville City Library. Captain Raymond Figueroa and firefighter Patrick Jones went inside the burning building to search for people who may have been trapped inside. A short time later, a Mayday call was made and crews began searching for the men. Figueroa was taken to the hospital where he died, and Jones's body was found 2 days later with the help of firefighters from around the region, including crews from Bakersfield and Kern County.
The fact that people are coming from all over to represent not only their own department but help show respect up here, it's a big deal and very emotional time for a lot of people.
Two 13-year-old boys were arrested, accused of starting the deadly fire. A remembrance event is planned for 4:14 this afternoon at Centennial Park across from Porterville City Hall. People can pay their respects to Figueroa and Jones as well as thank first responders. Figueroa's public funeral is scheduled for Tuesday in Delano. California is suing President Trump over an executive order the president signed in Bakersfield on Wednesday. Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Xavier Becerra filed the suit. The goal is to block new rules allowing farmers to take more water from the state's largest river systems. Newsom and Becerra argue that taking more water would push endangered populations of fish like the Delta smelt, salmon, and trout to the brink of extinction. The agriculture industry in California supplies 2/3 of the country's fruits and nuts and more than 1/3 of its vegetables. Switching gears, let's take a look at our weather forecast with Kevin, who's standing by.
And we've got some clouds out there right now, and earlier this morning we saw a few little sprinkles around town and also in the Kern River Valley. Dry for now, and I also want to touch on a little activity that we had this morning. 1 mile just northwest of Castaic, we had a magnitude 3.5 earthquake. No reports of damage out that way, but very rare in the Castaic area. And then also 8.7 miles east-northeast of Ridgecrest, there was a 3.1 this morning, 3.1 on the Richter scale. scale. But again, no damage up that way either. As we take a look at the satellite and radar, you can see the clouds pushing in from the south, and this will increase as we go throughout the day for us. 62 degrees right now for Bakersfield under a calm wind. We'll see a little breeze pick up this afternoon, and you can see the temperatures are going to be very nice into the 70s before dipping down into the 50s tonight. We're at 61 in Tehachapi, a calm wind, but again, those winds will continue to pick up this afternoon as the front gets a little bit closer, and you can see already seeing a little bit of a wind over the grapevine. Temperature-wise, you can see lower 60s this afternoon and then slipping back into the 40s by midnight. We'll talk more about the rain coming up.
Thanks, Kevin. Kern County Sheriff's deputies are searching for 2 suspects in an armed robbery. It happened last night at a McDonald's on Merrill Haggard Drive. Deputies say there were 4 employees and 2 customers when 2 men walked in with their faces covered and demanded cash. One man was armed with a shotgun. Deputies say he fired 1 shot into the ceiling. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the staff handed over the money, and the suspects took off in a silver car. Deputies are asking nearby businesses to release surveillance video. Criminal proceedings have been reinstated against a gang member accused of gunning down a security guard outside a Bakersfield casino in 2017. 33-year-old Keon Brackenridge spent months in a state hospital after being found not competent to stand trial. But today, a judge said Brackenridge has been restored to competency. In determining competency, a judge weighs evidence to determine whether a defendant understands the criminal proceedings against them and can assist in defense preparation. A documented member of the West Side Crips gang, Brackenridge refused to show his ID at the entrance of Golden West Casino the night of the shooting. And this is all according to court documents. And security guards were escorting him out when he stopped in the parking lot near the entrance, turned and pulled a handgun from his waistband. He then fired at the guards, 3 of whom returned fire. 25-year-old guard Richard Isuloa was killed, and Brackenridge was arrested at a convenience store 2 blocks away. He's charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder. He's held without bail and is expected to stand trial September 14th. A drunk and disorderly charge has been filed against a Bear Valley Springs police officer. Reports say Chad Foss accidentally shot himself in the leg during a New Year's Eve celebration. Deputies learned Foss had been drinking and, quote, manipulating a firearm that was concealed on his person when the gun went off in a Tehachapi bar. Foss had red, watery eyes and extreme difficulty in carrying on a conversation with deputies who tried to interview him after the shooting. There are currently no scheduled court hearings listed for the misdemeanor charge against Foss, according to the Kern County Superior Court website. Well, the Bakersfield Police Department will crack down on drunk drivers this weekend. Officers will conduct a DUI checkpoint Saturday at an undisclosed location within city limits from 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. Officers will be looking for signs of alcohol and or drug impairment. They'll also check drivers for proper licensing. Remember, if you see someone suspected of driving under the influence, call 911. Well, it seems as though the spread of the coronavirus is only worsening. Still ahead, 3 new cases, all tied to people who never stepped foot in China. Plus, millions still facing the flu. A look at why flu activity is still high. Your 17 Health Watch after the break. In your 17 Health Watch, Italian health officials are reporting 3 new cases of people who have contracted the virus that has sickened thousands in China. The first cases of among Italians who hadn't traveled to China. The 3 new cases bring the number to 6 people in Italy who have the virus. A 38-year-old Italian who had dinner on January 20th with someone who had recently been in China tested positive for the virus, as did his wife and another person who came in contact with them, said the Lombardy welfare chief Julio Galera. The 38-year-old had first gone to the hospital on February 16th with flu-like symptoms, but was sent home only to see his conditions worsen. Now he and some 70 people he came into contact with are in isolation in hospitals in the northern Lombardy region. Italy's Civil Protection Service said all precautions were being taken, quote, to reduce the health risk. Rome's infectious disease hospital is currently caring for 3 other people who were infected, including a Chinese couple from hard-hit Wuhan and an Italian. The coronavirus may be making headlines, but millions of Americans are getting sick with the flu. According to the CDC, flu activity is still high, but did decrease slightly this week. So far, at least 29 million people have come down with the flu this season. Over 280,000 people have been hospitalized, and at least 16,000 have died, including 105 children. Kern County has seen 7 deaths so far from the flu. Experts say it's not too late to get your flu shot. This year's vaccine has been shown to be 45% effective overall and 55% effective in children. How often do men go to the barber shop? Once a month, maybe more. Doctors at Vanderbilt Medical Center say those routine visits could soon save lives. Now, Carly Gordon reports.
I've been cutting hair since the age of 13.
For Masters owner Jamal Stewart, it's about far more than just trims and fades.
I had a deep connection to the community. I know a lot of people.
So when Vanderbilt approached him about having his patrons become patients, Stewart was all in. Pharmacist Gerard Parrish is now here taking people's blood pressure, sharing the results, and when necessary, prescribing meds.
And I'm also here just to be a sounding board for healthcare in general.
And while haircuts and healthcare may sound like an unlikely combo, it actually makes a lot of sense. Doctors say black men are less likely to see doctors for many reasons, but mainly trust.
If your dad doesn't go to the doctor a lot, then you probably won't go to the doctor a lot.
But they need to go since basic care can prevent things like strokes, kidney failure, and heart attacks.
From a public health perspective, it's one of the most important and easiest ways to really improve people's lifespan.
The goal of this barbershop study is to make healthcare more accessible, to meet people where they are. And they say it's something worth trying, since something so simple can make a huge difference.
Because if you just help one person with their blood pressure, you're saving one life. That means everything.
That was Carly Gordon reporting. This study has already been successful in several states. Vanderbilt has plans to expand the program to even more barbershops. And the hope is to start testing for high cholesterol and diabetes as well. Well, let's take another look at your forecast with Kevin, who's standing by.
And we've got a little break in the cloud cover right now, and this will be the case as we progress here into the afternoon. And then we'll start to see these clouds thicken up by this evening. And the chance of rain is still in the forecast heading into our Saturday morning. We've got 62 degrees out in Wasco right now, and we've got 53 out in Frazier Park. We're seeing a break in the clouds there. And then Golden Hills, also a mix of sun and clouds, 53 degrees. Temperature-wise, we're running into the 60s in all areas of the valley, and then 50s and 60s into the mountains, 63 out in Mojave. And here's a look at the satellite and radar. Nothing on radar, but we are still seeing some clouds pushing in from the south. And again, those will increase throughout the afternoon. Here's the low that we're going to be tracking here in the next 24 hours. And the main part of this is going to be moving south and east. We're going to get the wraparound out of this. And in terms of the moisture, I don't think it's going to arrive until probably after midnight tonight. Now, temperature is very nice around the state today. 68 in Sacramento, 70 in Fresno, mid-70s for Los Angeles, 68 in San Diego. If you're going to go try your luck in Vegas, they're going to be right around 64 today, and then some rain heading that way tomorrow evening. As we take a look at the Morro Bay forecast, 67 this afternoon and sunny. And here's a look at the big picture out in the Pacific. That's the low we're tracking for Saturday. It will move pretty quickly to the east into parts of Arizona by Sunday, and then ridging behind it will start to warm us up next week, and we'll clear the skies. Here's a look at our futurecasts. We'll pause it right here. This is Saturday, 2 a.m. when some of that light rain starts to push on in, hangs around here until Sunday early in the morning, and then by Sunday afternoon we should start to see clearing in the skies around Kern County. And now tomorrow there's also a chance of some thunderstorms. I think the main focus will be out near the Frazier Park area, areas to the south and to the east, but we're going to keep that slight chance into the Kern County mountains and also into the valley tomorrow afternoon. We need the rain. We have nothing in the gauge for the month of February, so we're down 0.89, and for the water year of October 1st, we are down over an inch. We should be right around 4 inches on the normal. rain amounts for the month, for the water year. As we take a look at today, we should be in the 70s all around with the sun breaks we're seeing. An east wind 5 to 15 by the afternoon, and then for the mountains, we'll look for 62 in Frazier Park, a lower 60s out of Tehachapi and Bear Valley, and then right near 70 for Lake Isabel, an east wind 10 to 15 today. And then for the desert, mostly sunny and 70 in Mojave. Take a look at your extended forecast here. And right now, I'm putting the rain amounts for the valley by the time this is all said and done between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch. And then we'll start to see clearing skies on Sunday. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back into the upper 70s. For the mountains, between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of rain with this system for you as well. Snow level will hover right near 6,000 feet. It'll be a cooler day tomorrow with only highs in the upper 40s, but then the 60s return with more sunshine by about next Tuesday. And for the Kern River Valley, we are expecting between 1/4 and possibly 1/2 an inch in some locations of the Kern River Valley. And then we'll clear things out Sunday for you as well. And then those lower 70s will return by next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this will just be kind of a one-day event heading into tomorrow.
Well, that's good because we needed a little bit of rain. So
we need a lot of rain.
We need a lot of rain.
We haven't picked up any rain for the month of February. And if we get skunked here, it could be the driest February in 5 years. We don't want that.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Kevin.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Well, the annual Home and Garden Show is officially here. Coming up, details on how you can make it out to this event and how a mother did the unthinkable, all to rescue a driver. We'll be right back.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
We're back with your 17 Business Watch. Kia is recalling more than 250,000 vehicles because they may pose a fire danger. The recall covers the 2006 to 2010 Kia Sedona minivan and the 2007 to 2009 Sorento SUV. Water can get into a brake computer, cause an electrical short, and possibly a fire. Kia is telling owners to park their vehicles outside and away from structures and other vehicles until the problem can be fixed. There have been several reported fires. Luckily, no injuries. We already know being a new mother is hard. Just imagine risking your life in a tanker explosion less than a week after giving birth. That's what a new mom did in Indianapolis. And Brett Cast reports what the woman said drove her to rush into the fiery scene.
We see a plume of smoke, like huge smoke, like it looked like a warehouse was on fire.
A massive fire shutting down 2 interstates could be seen from miles away, but Holly McNally had a much closer view.
And I slowed down and I saw the actual semi on fire. And then I looked to the front of the semi and I see a man on fire.
McNally was driving with her mom and pulled up on the truck driver right after he crashed into the barrier, watching as fire consumed him and his truck.
And I'm scanning and people are videotaping and watching, but nobody's running over there. So I told my mom, I said, I'm stopping and I'm going over there.
McNally and another man both ran to the driver and quickly put out the fire on him before realizing the worst was yet to come.
We got him out and we start to walk away and I see this huge stream of liquid and I could smell it. I said, Jeff, honey, what were you hauling? And he said, jet fuel. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Her shoes now soaked in jet fuel, McNally and the other man knew they had to move quick, especially knowing who was waiting for them at home.
And we're trying to carry him down, and it's like getting closer and closer, and the second explosion went off. And smoke was hitting us, and I was just praying, God, please let me get out of here so I can go see my baby.
That's him. It's my little man.
Just this week, McNally gave birth to a son, Connor. He's still in the NICU at St. Vincent, where McNally had just been minutes before pulling up to the fire.
I thought, what if that's my son? What if that were Connor, when he's 30? Would you want somebody to just leave him there?
Luckily, the 3 of them made it before the fire spread. She hopes that her story of selflessness might encourage others to do the same.
My mom was like, I can't believe you just didn't run away. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to leave somebody. I wish everybody was like that. You know what I mean? Everybody, like I said, I think everybody should help everybody.
That was Brett Cast reporting. Well, that was also coming up, country music star Travis Tritt is coming to town. How you can make it out to his performance tonight. Plus, a Southern California city will have its first Pride Parade in May. Details on how you can get involved. Entertainment news is after this. Welcome back. The weather is warming up and you might be thinking about getting some home projects done. If you need some ideas, The annual Home and Garden Show has just begun. It runs through Sunday. For all the details, head to KGET.com and click on the hot link icon. Happening tonight, country music star Travis Tritt is performing at the Fox Theater. The concert starts at 8 and doors open at 7. If you want to go, it's not too late to buy tickets. Prices start at around $40. And a quick look ahead now to the weekend. Edwards Theater is hosting a screening of the Oscar-nominated film The Color Purple. It's all part of the Turner Classic Movies Big Screen Classics presentations for the film's 35th anniversary screening, and this Sunday it's set to air at 1 and 5 p.m. The theater is located at 9000 Ming Avenue in the Marketplace. Coming this May, the city of Glendale will have its first ever Pride Parade. The festival is set to take place on May 30th in Central Park from 3 to 9. The event is free and everyone is welcome to attend. The goal is to bring pride to areas where it typically hasn't been celebrated. When we return here on 17 News at noon, Chuck Nordstrom is in with our Pet of the Week from the SPCA. We'll be right back. Finally here at noon, Chuck Nordstrom with our Pet of the Week from the SPCA. And good afternoon. Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Who's this?
Well, today I have Stacy.
She's so sweet.
And as you can see, Stacy's a little Chihuahua mix. She may have a little Min Pin in there.
Okay.
Sweet as can be, about 5 years old. And, you know, she just really loves people, is very well behaved. She's not a barker. She is house trained, gets along well with other dogs. Before we came over here, she was out in the puppy play yard with about 15 other little dogs, just running around and having a good time. But she does kind of attract herself to people more than dogs.
I'm amazed. She's just so good, so calm. We were talking during the commercial break how calm she is, and definitely a good companion for someone who's just looking for a best friend to always hang around with.
Exactly. And with her being 5 years old, she applies for our senior program. So if you're a senior and you adopt Stacy, you get her at half price.
Oh, there you go. And so tell us, does she come in with any siblings or nothing like that,
No,
right?
just all by herself.
Okay.
And again, warms up to everyone real quick. Very warm and loving.
She's so sweet. Well, thank you so much. And so any details as far as if you're interested, here's that phone number for you to adopt Stacy. And when is she available again, Chuck?
She's available this afternoon.
This afternoon. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. That's all for us. We will see you back here for 17 News at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News,